Hey everybody, Boris with BK Forex. Welcome to the commodity dollar update for January 2nd to January 6th for Aussie dollar, dollar CAD, and Kiwi dollar. And the story with COM dollars has been that they've been sort of very much the very muted trade of the commodities, of the currency sector. Aussie dollar and Kiwi dollar have just been very quiet and very narrow, sort of 50, 70 pip ranges. Definitely suffered tremendous amount of losses, both on fears over China slowdown, fears of commodity sell-offs, and most importantly, the large gains in U.S. yields, which of course make the carry trade against the Aussie and the Kiwi much less attractive. So they have definitely got sold very hard, but have a chance to rally if U.S. yields begin to retreat. This is really the critical thing there. Nothing, I think, is more sensitive in the currency market at this point right now than the COM dollars to U.S. yields sector. So if the 10-year in the U.S. remains 250 or below, Aussie Kiwi do have a chance to re-rally. There's not much data on the set for either Australia or New Zealand. We do have the dairy auction at the front of the week, which is just a sort of modest piece of news. Some commodity price data out of Australia. The big event for Canada will be the labor data on Friday, but Canada has really been trading very much off of oil prices, and oil prices so far have kind of stabilized around the $50 level, so it's lost a lot of its momentum. Dollar CAD is also definitely diverged from U.S. Canadian yields. That is, it's risen far higher than the Canadian yields have declined against the U.S. yields, and that suggests that possibly it could have some potential relative strength as we go forward, especially if Canadian data comes in better than expected. But overall, I think it's very much a quiet, much more muted trade in the COM dollar sector, and commodity dollars at this point are probably going to be much more interesting on a cross basis rather than a direct basis, because they remain very much constrained in these tight ranges. And I'm being very generous when I provide these ranges of 71 to 73, for example, for the Aussie, because Aussie has really just been hovering around either side of 71, 72 for most of the week. Dollar CAD has also been relatively quiet, capped by the 136 level. Kiwi has traded a little bit better. We've now taken the 69 to the upside and certainly have a chance of retouching the 70 after dropping through that very key level a few weeks back. Let's take a look at the charts here and just see how that sets up for the COM dollars. We'll start with the Aussie first, and you can see that the trade here has been very constrained. It's really essentially what is this? This is, 40 points. You've really had essentially a 40, 50 point range for the last week and a half. Nothing much going on. After a very sharp sell-off all the way from 75s, we have found some support in the 72s. I think we need to go, we should go a little bit wider, maybe like even a 3-year basis on a weeklies, just to see where we stand. It's still, if you look at the weeklies here, this area here of 71.50 remains relatively decent support. Now, if we hold that support, that is a decent double bottom and puts us right back towards the 73, 74 level. Certainly 75 is the very big resistance on the weekly. But it does create a higher low. It does create a sort of a more positive bottoming structure for the Aussie than we currently have. A break of the 71.50, very important level. And if we start breaking that, it really puts 70 square up in face. And I think the sort of a dollar bullish case scenario, or something very negative in China that corrodes the commodity currency, the commodity price gauges, really could take us very quickly towards the 70 level. So I'd be watching 71.50 very closely just to see how that trades. Dollar CAD, let's also take a look at the weeklies here, because you can see the weeklies is it's butting up. It's really butting up against this 35, 36 level. And again, this is a very big case of does the dollar have what it takes? If the dollar has what it takes, we really take out the 36s in dollar CAD very strongly, and that puts us really square up on the path towards the 140s. Still maintains, if you look at the weeklies, you can still say that the uptrend, the slow moving uptrend, is very much in place. On the dailies, the story is a little bit more nuanced, and it certainly looks like in some ways dollar CAD has effectively made a double top here at the 36 level. And it's a tight trade. It's only about 100, 110 points, 120 points worth of risk. But it's kind of interesting. It's an interesting trade to the downside. If you believe the dollar rally is going to get corrected, CAD is one of the better corrective currencies against the dollar. It's grossly oversold, and its yield structure is nowhere near where it should be. So therefore, where it should be, what I mean by that is that Canadian yields are not nearly as low to justify a $136 CAD. Dollar CAD should really be around 134. So that's another yet interesting trade here. Double top and dollar CAD suggested that we could have more corrective action, and 134, 133 really comes into view as a potential trade. Certainly, I think CAD is one of the stronger trades on the commodity front. Now, the Kiwi has also actually made a big turn. Here we made a turn around the 69s, big power move yesterday through the 69s. We will butt heads against the 70. That's going to be very much a big resistance point. In fact, that's going to be a serious resistance point because not only was it support just a few weeks ago, but it was support a couple of months ago, and it was support in August. So 70 is going to become very serious resistance points for Kiwi. An extension here certainly going to present some possibility of a sell-off. Overall, it's a slow but steady recovery in the commodity currencies, but they remain very much backstage versus the European currencies and the Japanese currencies, which are really dominating in this dollar-based rally, as well as probably going to be dominating in a dollar-based correction if we get one next week. Wish you guys the best luck, the best trading. Boris, over and out.